Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This bill alone represents nearly $8 billion in funding for our public schools. Let me repeat, $8 billion for your public schools. And together with the House's other priority legislation, such as HB 120, HB 124, and HB 123, we will provide nearly $10 billion for our public schools this session. This is more money for Texas public education than any other piece of legislation in the history of the state. This is landmark funding for Texas public schools. Members, you've seen your district runs. Every district gains substantial resources going forward as a result of this bill. And members, I could talk about all the good things in this bill and the impact that it will have for our schools all day. But for the sake of time, let me just hit the highlights with all of you right now. First, we've increased the basic allotment from $6,160 to $6,555. And members, that includes an ongoing automatic increase to the BA every biennium, tying that to the growth of property values through the golden penny yield. Most importantly, HB2 does a number of things for Texas teachers. It provides over $1 billion for salary increases for our teachers, our school counselors, nurses, and librarians, specifically those with 5 or more years of experience or 10 or more years of experience as well, with these pay increases ranging between $3,500 and $7,000. We substantially increased the small and mid-size adjustment for our nearly 1,000 small and mid-size schools to help address the teacher pay gap between smaller districts and more urban districts. We provide more resources for the teacher incentive allotment, which directly results in more teachers making 6-figure salaries and for them to stay in the classroom. These are our best, and we must keep them in the classroom. HB2 provides direct money to districts to get their teachers certified so that the teachers in our classrooms are well prepared to educate our children. It establishes the popular Grow Your Own program as an allotment, equipping districts to recruit and train teachers from their communities to earn a degree and their teacher's certification. And for some of you, I know, and most importantly, this bill increases special education funding by over $1 billion, and it includes a new funding model based on student needs. Members, to implement this historic funding for special education and to change in a very material way the way we fund special education in Texas, most of the special education funding based on intensity of service model will occur in the second year of the biennium. There is still more resources for special ed the first year of the biennium, but as districts become accustomed to utilizing the processes to make sure that the funding we provide for special education students matches the needs and services that they require, we wanted to give them a runway to do this, and this comes upon the recommendation of our special education leaders across the state. Members, this bill provides more money for pre-K, for bilingual education, compensatory education, and charter school facilities over the biennium. HB2 represents a thoughtful, student-centered investment in public education. It provides teacher support and a substantial investment in special education and other important services that we need in our public schools, all while ensuring district flexibility. This bill provides substantially for local control. And before we move on with our discussion on this historic piece of legislation, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the members of the House Public Education Committee for their time and their investment in the development of this bill. But most importantly, I want to thank my Vice Chairman, Diego Bernal, and his team. His enthusiasm and the ideas he contributed were essential in drafting this bill. Members, we heard hours and hours of testimony. and we had several great discussions on the provisions of this bill. I also want to thank members on this floor right now that have come to me with issues involving very specific things that are happening in your districts. That's what we do in the Texas House. We represent our districts. And that representation of your districts could not be more apparent in any piece of legislation you'll see today than in House Bill 2. Members, I look forward to having a robust discussion today about this bill. I ask you to stand with us as we provide the largest investment of funding for our public schools in the history of this state. Members, I'll have a perfecting amendment, and I'd like to lay that out this time before I take questions.